Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist, don't they? But this week, a new take on the story is heading to the Theatre Royal in Newcastle. We cool, you come, you do as I say. We cool, you come, you do as I say. We cool, you come, you do as I say. Okay. And that is definitely not what I was expecting. Conrad Murray is music creator and musical director of Unexpected Twist and joins us now. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yo, thanks for having me.
I totally love that so much. And so, what is Unexpected Tales all about? Because, like I was just saying, it sounds very different to the Oliver Twist that we're all very familiar with.
Yeah, it's like a modern kind of telling of Oliver Twist. Like it's Michael Rosen's story, but adapted by Roy Williams, and it kind of brings you up to date now. So it's kind of showing you that like kids haven't moved that far from kind of how they were seen back in Charles Dickens' day. We kind of use like a modern story, but modern music like hip hop, grime, to kind of like tell that story.
Wow, and the music, just hearing from that sounds incredible. And of course, you're well known for your beatboxing. Has that influenced you with what you decided to do with the production? Was that your main influence?
Yeah. So like the actual beatbox and the vocal side is kind of what I wanted to bring out of the cast. So there's no instruments. And in that way, we can kind of like, bend sounds, make discordant sounds, but also across like kind of shift from genres from hip hop to blues to soul to ballads back to grime. It takes a lot of work, but it pays off because part of the show is kind of like, wow, like they're doing all of this music all from the mouth.
Wow, and there's some songs that obviously we know from Oliver Twist, like Food, Glorious Food. Do you take classics like that and then kind of put a bit of a hip hop twist to them?
We kind of have the same kind of story beat. So instead of like, you got to pick a pocket or two, we've got a song called Pressure. So like, we have kind of our own version where our Dodger, who's a character called Tino, played by X, is kind of like, saying like, you can take the pressure, like, you got this. You like in convincing Shona, the lead character, that she can do this, and this is what you got to do to kind of get on.
It's amazing. Like you're a few weeks into the run at the minute. How's it all going, and what's the reception been like from the audiences?
The audience go nuts. Like there's a lot of like kind of like banter in there. So like see a lot of young people go crazy, but I guess a lot of kind of like adults and stuff, I think they're surprised by the complexity of the story and the parallels, but also the kind of the layering of the music. I think people are a bit kind of blown away because we don't use pitch pipes. Everyone just has to kind of pretty much learn perfect pitch and timing to do all the songs throughout the whole way. So the audience are blown away, and we end each show led by an original piece of music. We do like a circle jam, and Kate Donaghy kind of leads this jam, so the audience can see that at the end it's all coming together live on this moment. And sometimes we're just throwing in little special bits, a spoiler alert, but sometimes the audience kind of gets asked to kind of lead the jam, saying no, that actually this is all live, like this could mess up, but that's the magic of it. But yeah, the audience go nuts.
Wow, and I bet this is bringing a whole new group of people to the theatre maybe that don't normally go.
Oh, definitely, because like I think that people don't really expect to see like grime or trap or whatever, and I think that's the kind of thrill of it. Like, well, I get to see kind of like a rap gig, but I also get to see the story of the Artful Dodger told by Michael Rosen and Roy Williams, and the performers. We got some sick actors, tenured actors, alongside great spitters, amazing beatboxers like Apollo and Glitch. So yeah, we're definitely going to be bringing in new kind of audiences, because if you think like how concerts and festivals has blown up after the last 10 years, I think in my mind it's kind of like, if I can get this, if people are watching the show, if I can get this on Netflix, then why would I leave my house? So we've got to do everything we can to kind of make this spectacle that's live, like you have to be there. So it's a whole new experience that we've created.
Yeah, and especially when you said like at the end, like you produce something totally new, so people go more than once and experience something completely different at the end of the show.
Yeah, like each time it'll be completely different. And I'm sure there's some people that might think, is this rehearsed? But to be honest, like it's so good that you might think that, but we throw in the tricks of like deliberately stopping it so it could go out of time, so an audience member can start it off. So hold on, this is all live, and they're doing this different each time. But it takes a lot of drilling. But I guess part of it is like we want people to be blown away.
Yeah, you must be pretty exhausted, like the whole ensemble, everyone in it. Like, it seems quite intense, a lot of work.
Yeah, because they're doing choreography, they're doing dance, and they're doing fight choreography as well. And I think I'm sure them first few days when we get into the rehearsal room, well, they were kind of saying this. It's kind of like, when are the tracks going to come on, or is this going to be looped, or are we going to get our notes given to us? And it's like, no, we've got to rehearse to dance our asses off while singing the whole time. And I think it's a bit, I think it's a bit of a shock at first.
You sound like you absolutely love it. Like, have you really enjoyed, because you are the music creator and musical director, has it been really fun? This project?
Yeah, because it's not only like am I involved in composing the songs, but you're working with, because you want to work with the best people, because you get buzzed out of seeing the skills popping off. And Apollo is like one of the best beatboxers in the country, but then you can say to the vocalists like Leah Summers, "Oh, can you sing this?" And you're singing the songs come to life. And Drew, the lead, she's going to be a superstar. Her vocals are some of the best vocals I've ever heard. You seeing her sing, harmonizing, and then beatboxing with Kate Donick. He was like a sick rapper and beatboxer and vocalist whilst dancing, because you're just playing, experimenting the whole time, and knowing that you're creating something so new. Like a lot of people that come in the room saying, "What is actually going on? I've never seen this," and it's like no one has.
Exciting. And how have the fans of, do you know, like the original Charles Dickens story? How have they found the reimagining? Because they must be quite surprised when they come along. It's a completely different view.
Yeah, it is. I think they're loving it, and I think because we've got kind of like little Easter eggs, and then some blatant kind of like references, and I think that it's because of that all the textures and the way we've kind of like remixed the story, sampled the story, appropriated the story, we adapted it. There's so much in there to be like, oh wow, okay, that's how they've done that. I can, if you're because James Aker is clearly a Charles Dickens fan, and Roy Williams, who adapted the story, he grew up on an estate where all the blocks were named after Dickens books and characters. So it's been around him his whole life. So it's kind of like we were able to geek out in the room for all the other geeks, plus all the beatbox, rap, grime geeks, people that want to watch something completely new. I think when you're in a room full of people that are super hyped up about doing it, the audience are going to feel it.
I really can't wait to see it. I really, really can't. Now, you're at the Theatre Royal in Newcastle from Wednesday this week. How can we find out more and get more tickets and get ourselves along?
If you go and search in the tab Unexpected Twist Theatre Tour, it will come up, all the tickets, all the things there. Or Twist on Stage is our Instagram and all the other social media sites, and then you could find out about the trailer, and all the different beats and things will come up to kind of like point you in the right direction.
I absolutely love it, Conrad. I'm so glad you did that, because before you were going, I need to hear. Do a little bit more. I want to hear a bit more. That is amazing. Oh, thank you so much for coming on. You are super talented, and this just sounds so different. It really, really does, and it just seems like you said, you don't have to go above and beyond now to get people to go into the theatre, because they can see a lot on their own, the television.
Yeah.
And it definitely seems like it's worth getting up, getting out of the house, and getting along to the theatre.
Defo. Go along, get some popcorn, and watch some beats. Join in the beats, learn some beats.
Oh, great idea. Oh, thank you so much for coming on. That's Conrad Murray, the musical director, and thank you for that, Conrad.
Cheers. Thank you, man.
Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.